trying to fix appointment to have some blood taken, and that you know how slow they are.
I'm just trying it. That's the dog barking. You turn the volume up.
I sort of got that was the dog.
There's the volume.
How is Eric?
Right, Eric's just come shooting in here. Go and bark at the builders. Go on. Go on, get back at the builders. Yeah, there we go.
Oh dear.
Yeah, there we go.
Right, I've done it. I was just trying to grab some pictures, which we might want to talk about, and I've just done that. I hope, anyway. We'll find out in a minute. Eric, I love you. You are a glorious dog.
We have builders downstairs, so he likes to bark at them occasionally, just to let them know, you know.
This is his house, and this is how things are going to be, and that's
exactly
it. How's the building going?
Yeah, well, we're into week 2 now. They have been fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Great.
Polite and tidy. They work full days. Yeah, they've been.
Excuse me, I think I need a large gin.
Yeah, they have been. They even wash their mugs up at the end of the day. They make sure that the site every night is safe for Eric. They're brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
How gorgeous! If ever I want any building work done, would you give me their names? And,
yes, I'll send them up to you.
Get them to come up here.
Yeah, cannot fault them. They've been absolutely fantastic.
How gorgeous! That's really nice.
I am stuffed in a spare bedroom, which is why I've got coats and boxes and all sorts. I've got a fridge on one side. I've got a microwave, and I can make some toast while I'm sitting.
Well, that's very good, except for the fact that I shall get jealous if you're going to have toast.
Yeah, I have got mince pies too, if you're interested.
This is disgusting. You know, I mean, you know, this is just how pagans are. I mean, you know, the horrible woman is there talking about all this lovely edible stuff, and I can't get any because he's in Portsmouth and I'm up near Shrewsbury.
However, I don't have a working kitchen at the moment, so everything is in boxes and packets, and I can't bake at the minute, which is a bit driving me a little bit nuts already. But it'll be worth it in the end.
You're getting delirium tremens from that, aren't you? Oh my goodness me.
But yeah, it's chaos, but it's organized chaos. So it's all good. It's all good.
Just out of interest, when do you think you might have a working kitchen again?
I'm guessing probably November, December. We didn't have to be fair. The cooker is still down there, and they have left it all plugged in, but everything's covered in dust. So, we made the decision that we would move everything upstairs, and then it's easier for them as well. They haven't got to work around us being precious, and they can just crack on and do the stuff. So it was a conscious choice, really.
Yeah. It's just sort of like.
Their office is in their bedroom, so that's fun. Eric loves it because it means he can sleep on the bed all day, which he's not normally allowed to do. So, it'll be worth it. It's all good.
It will. It'll be absolutely marvelous when when it's all done. You'll be really well.
Yeah,
it'll be fantastic. So,
yeah.
Oh. I'm really glad it's coming because I mean I've been sort of sitting here waiting in a sense, sort of thinking, wonder if what she's doing. What's that? You know, what's that? Yes. Where is she now? What's going on?
It has been a few months planning and in the making. So it's actually happening. So and it's all good. It's all good.
That's really, really, really good.
Yes. So you've been on your travels this week, last week. I've lost track of time completely.
I've lost track of time too, and I think it was last week. In fact, I think I came back home last Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, it is seriously like that. I don't know whether it was yesterday or 4 years ago. And it was totally and utterly fantastic. And may I share screen?
Yes, tell everybody where you've been and what you were actually
Well,
doing.
let's show people where I've been a bit, if I can. And
We do like a bit of technology.
oh, it's amazing technology. Just sort of let me sort this out because it's a bloody mess at the moment. Okay, so this is too complicated. I can't do this. I'm doing fine. Don't worry about it. It's absolutely fine.
I'll let you do that, and I will tell everybody that.
There. Are we sharing?
Ellen's Practically Pagan Alternative Guide to Gardening is released very soon.
Yes, very soon. But you can pre-order now. And I had one dear bloke say he really wanted to, but he was really lousy at gardening. So did I think this would be too much for him? So I said, if you can basically sort of sow a seed, plant a plant, and dig a garden and possibly mow a bit of grass, you were fine. You had all the skills you needed to start.
Yeah.
Poor souls. I mean, fancy having to think that pagan gardening, was going to be as complicated as sort of, Gardener's World par excellence or something. Not that that's complicated, but
just a bit of dirt.
Well, yeah, I'm going to tell you about, how to have a lovely spiritual relationship with the soil and with your composting, which I think is important.
Obviously, yeah.
But no, there's a lot more to it than that. I mean, if the gardening bit, everybody pretty well sows a seed in a similar sort of way.
Yeah. Poke a hole, put it in there.
Or, whatever it is you do. And ditto with a plant. So the rest of it will all sort of make sense to you, probably. So it's absolutely fine.
Good.
And
so watch out for that, people. Get that pre-ordered.
Yep. It's worth it, honest.
I know. I've got a copy in my grubby little paws already.
Ooh, there you are, you see. And so it's okay. It's okay.
And if you hop on over to the Moonbooks YouTube channel, you will see a preview video of me waving the book about and telling what's in it.
You will if you actually go in various of my pages.
Yeah,
because I'm copied it over, and I also wave it around in various places, and it's even now getting waved around. And now I will go back to sharing. It's even getting waved around and shared with this bloke.
Let's get him on the screen.
There you go.
Right
now, that is Will Lord. And that was on the last day.
What a fantastic photograph.
It is. Now, let me tell you the story of that photograph, because it's absolutely blooming amazing. In fact, before I do, let's sort of whiz in and grab a couple more photographs.
So he's Will Lord. Whereabouts is
Norfolk.
he based? Right.
Norfolk.
Very nice.
Actually, I think that's just over the border in Suffolk, but it's sort of Suffolk, Norfolk, that kind of thing. And so anyway, the story, let's, what have you got in front of you at the moment? Can I see? You've got Will.
Okay. We have Will and his rainbow.
And his rainbow. Well, it's sort of his rainbow, but, it's sort of everybody's rainbow, because we came out of the hut, which is this marvelous earth lodge, which fits about 15 or 20 people in it, with the smoke coming out of the top.
Right.
And somebody turned around and they said, "Look at that!" And this was on the final evening that we spent there, not the last day, but the final evening. And we came out because it had just been raining, and there was this rainbow right over our earth lodge right over our camp, our little valley. And everybody had been making bows that day. So Will's girlfriend, who does all his picks and things like that, sort of said, "Get it, bows, get out there, hold them up." And Will was there saying, "Hold them up, go on." So everybody's there waving their bows that they've made.
I'm assuming bow and arrow as opposed to bows in your hair.
Well, these things, if you look at the bottom of the screen, do not look like bows in your hair. They're actually things that you put an arrow to, and they all work. Everybody's worked, and several people had never made one before, including me. And there they were. It was like, and this is something that was so important on that 4 days. All of those people, there were 10 of us students, and Will and 3 helpers who are all very experienced too. And all of us, we made our bows, and then the sky put a bow in the sky.
Yeah.
And that spiritual significance was there in their own way for every single person there.
Perfect.
And that isn't something that you get on a lot of bushcraft courses.
No.
But this was there. And so we were all celebrating the rainbow, and this was part of it. And let's get another picky up. Yeah. So we took pictures of, I think I'm actually behind the stone.
We've still got a picture of Will at the minute.
Oops. Right. Let's see what we've got now. No. We've still got a picture of Will. This is really stupid. Why have we done this? How am I going to do this? Let me get back onto this. Sorry about this, guys. Stop sharing and start again. That's right. I have to keep starting again. I am really useless at this. This is absolutely hopeless. Let's try again. So, right, there's the bows coming up. Now we see it, hopefully.
There we go.
We've got it. So this is our hut, the Earth Lodge, which is just built of earth.
Fantastic.
With a hole in the middle and a fire in the middle and the smoke coming out of it. This is the valley. It's an old quarry, which has now rewilded itself, as you can see.
It looks fantastic.
It's absolutely glorious. So we were there celebrating our bows with the rainbow, and it's like, yay!
The bows look amazing too. You made them from scratch?
Yep.
Cool.
They're all yew.
Right.
And Will had cut the yew. He cut various lengths of yew stick for us. And so we, picked one. Now, that was really beautiful too, because he said to us, let's come out of sharing for a minute. And he said to us, here's a bunch of sticks. There were, I think he'd done about 15 or 16 sticks. We only needed 10. So there was a chance for us to try. And he said, don't go and rush over and grab the first stick. He said, just sit there and look at the sticks and see if any of them calls to you.
Right.
How often do you hear that in bushcraft?
No, well, everything in the whole world is fast forward, isn't it? No one ever says, just sit for a minute.
And see if one of them calls to you. And several of them, and I felt it, and my John felt it, and he said, that one. And so reached over, it's that one. And some people took a bit longer, some people were fairly fast. And we got the weirdest shaped sticks. And where is mine? It's somewhere around here. Hang on, I'll bring it. I have not made a bow because I actually didn't want to.
Such a rebel.
Well, it's fine. That's another thing with Will. This is it. How far?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
spot on.
Bark still on the back. You don't.
Oh, lovely.
Now, if I come up close, you can actually see the heartwood of the yew.
That is beautiful, isn't it?
Isn't it?
That is beautiful.
And it's funny shapes. Let me just run it up and down. It's not even.
I love that it's got the bark on one side and the inside of the wood on the other. That's brilliant.
Yeah. Some people took theirs off. And again, Will said, I don't know whether you want to take the bark off. You may do, or you may not. See how you feel.
Oh, I think the bark's beautiful on it.
And I didn't, because actually I discovered that this is going to be a huge, enormous ogham stick.
Oh, okay.
And because, where is it at the top? No. Can you see?
The markings in it.
There. That marking.
Yep.
That's the first letter of the ogham.
Oh, well, there you go.
And it was in there.
Excellent.
And several of them, or a couple of them, know a little bit about the ogham. And I showed it to Will, and I sort of said, I've got to do that. And he went, yeah, you have, haven't you? And it's going to be pyrograph, so it's going to take me a while. But it's going to be quite amazing. And he didn't mind that I didn't want to make a bow, that I wanted to do something else.
Yeah.
But I still used the techniques that he was telling us in order to work the stick, including... Now, would you think that you could work a stick and take the wood off with that?
Oh, fantastic.
Well, you can.
Well, I do, because I know a little bit about them from my son, who's messed about with flints and things like that. But you wouldn't normally associate that with a...
And you'd sit there and you'd think, oh, I should use that side. Or maybe I should use that side. No. This has been napped out, as you'll know. And this is the edge. So hold it like that.
Right.
And
well, we can see how well it worked. Was it easy to do?
When I got this, as opposed to a spoke shave, yes.
Right.
This is so sharp.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely bloody brilliant. It really was, you know.
Excellent.
Am I echoing? I think I am.
Oh, I haven't noticed it. But then I'm in a broom cupboard, so...
No, that's fine. I think my volume might have been up a bit high or something like that. Anyway. So that's the sort of place it was. And let me just get that picture of all of us. I'll get to share screen here. Share screen.
You were there for a few days,
4 days. I was.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you sleep in the wild?
Oh yeah. I took a hammock.
Excellent.
Fiona and I both took a hammock, and he has plenty of trees, so we slung our hammock in the trees around. Now this is a picture of all of us, except that I think I think I'm behind the stone. But that's typical. I am there, and I remember being next to this guy, Jim. So I think I'm behind the stone. Of course,
the stone is fantastic.
He found it and carved it himself, and it is very significant. It's actually a gateway, like a guardian,
right?
And you really feel it, and he feels it. So you know, absolutely amazing in that way. So
you get the energy just from the photo is amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it must be me and Fiona, because Fiona's in there as well. If I grab the other picture, you can actually see my mate Fiona. I think she's in there somewhere. That one will do. So we'll stop sharing. And start.
So you had 4 days in the wild, sleeping outside. Did you eat, cook on fires and things like that?
I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a moment. So where is the place? There it is.
Is yew a traditional wood for making bows?
Yes. Yeah. And this is, we're all making the string for our bow, the cordage for our bow, out of nettles.
Right. Yes, I have used nettle string before. My drumstick is bound with nettle string. It's good stuff.
People don't realise how strong it is. If you've made it well, you can hang from it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hang by your hand. Let's try not to. That's all right. I didn't mean that way. That's fine. We won't go there again. That's my friend Fiona. There were a few midges about, which accounts for the fact she's got a midge net on.
Oh.
And no, that is not Eric.
No, the little dog's, yeah, we like him.
It's one of the cutest dogs, and a lovely little thing. It was gorgeous, rescued again. Anyway, let's start with Fairy. And yeah, we slept out. We arrived on the Friday, 5 o'clock, and they prepared a meal for us that evening, which was fine, lovely, and it was all properly cooked, of proper vegetables that people had chopped up and meat and things like that, and again on bushcraftings I've seen so many packages and tins.
Right.
I mean, I got some Scottish blokes I was with, and they had tinned haggis.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't before then. Well, let's have the haggis, and they got the tins out, the tin openers, and we're in the middle of nowhere in Scotland, opening a tin. And it was like, no, does not compute. But no, somebody had, a friend of Will's had shot a muntjac. And the muntjac was hanging up, complete. Hadn't been, nothing had been done to it, and he said, "Well, deal with him the next day." So we butchered him with flint, and you just need a little piece like that,
right,
and you're right through a tough hide.
Excellent.
And you cut, at the meat out, the sinews and everything, take the bones out. Nothing was wasted.
Good.
We skinned it, the buck, and one of us said, "I'd really like this to make something," but we were all helping deflesh it and then tan it. So we were doing tanning, brain tanning.
Right.
And we ate it. We ate everything we could. The muntjac sinews are so small, they're because they're little tiny deer. They're really not worth pulling out and using as cord. But you can still use bits of them. We made tools out of the bones, including needles.
Excellent.
And I've got the 4 feet with the toenails on.
Right.
I'm going to make rattles from the toenails,
Excellent.
drum beaters, and a rattle handle out of the shin bones.
Brilliant.
So it's completely, the deer was killed respectfully. We were shown how, and that one went straight through the neck, and so he just jumped and fell over, and he was dead. The whole thing was so respectful and so beautiful.
Yeah. I think if you are going to use an animal, you've got to honour it. You need to use all of it, don't you?
And this was so much part of it. And somebody was using the skull. Somebody else was going to use. He's got little horns, so they're going to use the horns for tools and a handle for something. Nothing. I mean, we did not eat. We did not eat the stomach and that kind of stuff. You could, but we didn't. So the foxes ate it.
Right.
Nothing was thrown away.
That's how it should be, isn't it? If you're going to take a life, then honour it by using everything.
Yeah, which was really, really important. We did another bit of honouring too, which was really weird for bushcrafting. Let me find that pic for you. We took an ash tree because we needed one. I can't find it now. Anyway, don't worry about it. We'll just go on. We were taking the ash tree because ash is another very good wood for bows. And Will needed staves for bows. He also needed it for tools. And we were going to take the bark because the bark you can make boxes and cooking pots and all this sort of stuff.
Right.
And it was really funny because I didn't know we were going to take an ash tree at first. So Will said, "Oh, tomorrow we'll take the ash tree. Tomorrow morning we'll go down and take the ash tree." Now we took it with a stone axe.
Okay.
Which Will had made, and a friend of his had ground, and a friend of his was very good at it. And we all used the axe. We all joined in taking the tree, which was really important too. So everybody struck at least
added your energy to it,
blows, including me. And as soon as he said ash tree, I got Gwydion out of my ear and saying ash keys, ash keys, ash keys. So I said, okay, fine. Yeah, I'll do that. I got some, but I couldn't get some until we felled the tree because it was very tall and they were right up the top.
Right.
Get down the tree and got some ash. But before we could do that, he also said blood.
Right.
And said, "You're taking a tree. You've got to give back. Somebody's got to give back." So I said, "That's fine. I don't mind. I'm on that. Except that I've left my finger pricking and kick behind." So I was there going, "Has anybody got a needle or a pin or something? Well, Will, have you got a piece of flint in your pocket?" Which once you bloody haven't. I mean, that would have cut my finger. And the person who got a decent knife that I trusted was Fiona. So she gave it to me. I said, I can't cut my finger with a knife. I never succeed. So I was standing there. She said, "I'll do it."
Yeah, no, I think, yeah. I wouldn't be able to do it.
So she made a hole in my finger, which is fine. And we'd taken the first few cuts out. So the wound was open. And I put the blood straight on the wound. And nobody freaked out. Everybody was like, "You're giving back." Or, "What did you do that for? Tell me about it." And then they understood.
Yeah.
And several of them would have done it as well. But, it turned up on me, so that was fine. So just imagine being there with these kind of people.
Strangers that you've not met before, I'm assuming.
Actually,
but everybody kind of understood.
But I didn't know.
Generally,
I didn't know before we got there. And we were sort of, "Oh, hey, you!" Which was really, really nice. But yes, strangers, new friends now, which is really good. Because we all gelled. Oh, we took our drums. And
lovely.
Will sort of, okay. Yeah. And because he's got one, he's made his own, he's birthed his own, and he told us the story of his journey to birth it.
Right.
And
which is an incredibly emotional thing to do.
It certainly is.
I wasn't prepared for how emotional it was.
It is your heart.
Yes. Yeah.
So we started. We took the drums into the Earth Lodge and we got a fire going after supper, and we just started playing. And so people came in, and there were one or two other drums there, including Will's, and he didn't mind people using them. So a couple of people picked them up, and then a couple of people picked up saucepans and spoons. Then somebody else found a stick like this, but it's got a ratchet on it, And so he was like rubbing it. So you've got to rub it.
Right.
Somebody was banging a couple of sticks together. Somebody was banging a couple of stones together. Everybody was singing. We were there for about 3 or 4 hours, and everybody was singing by the end. There were songs coming out, tales coming out, and it was just beautiful.
Excellent.
And we had one of those sort of evenings every night. But they were spontaneous. They weren't like, and now we're going to.
Yes, now sit down, do this, do that, yeah.
So it was just amazing. Yeah. And I recommend, if anybody's got the chance to go on a course with Will Lord, do it.
Yeah, the photos, just as I say, just the energy from the photos looks amazing.
And he's so good. And we ended up with a really lovely thing, because we were not far from Seahenge, or the site of Seahenge, on the Norfolk coast. So on the last day, we went to stay in a hotel near there, and then on the Wednesday morning we went to Home by the Sea. And we couldn't get rides out because the tides weren't low enough, but we could go a long way out on the marshes. And we didn't take a single photograph. It was quite wrong to do so. But we'd just been doing Stone Age, Neolithic, Mesolithic, Paleolithic stuff.
Yeah.
And Seahenge is basically Bronze Age, but the place goes on much more. And of course, in way back, that would have been Doggerland.
Right.
Because the Dogger Bank was washed out by a huge, enormous tsunami, which actually gave us the English Channel. But it was there then. So we stood there, and we're feeling into the place as you do. But we were all of a sudden, you know how it sometimes goes, and you're not looking at the 21st century anymore. And we were there with the
right,
but not just the Seahenge people. It went further back to Doggerland.
Right.
And what we found was, because we'd been doing all the Stone Age stuff ourselves, and really experiencing it, feeling it, we were right there with them. You could smell the place, you could smell the food, you could feel the air, you could hear the sounds of people working. You could hear them. I mean, they weren't talking English, obviously, but you could understand what they were saying. We were there for 10 or 15 minutes, just standing there in the past.
Yeah, in the moment with it.
Yeah. And then it just sort of pixelated. And we were back in the 21st century.
Darn it.
Well, yes and no.
It was 21st century has plumbing.
And yes, it was wonderful.
Showers
and things. But no, it was good to come home too. And so, yeah, I have just had one of the most amazing experiences of my life.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
No, it does sound amazing. Well, I say, look, the photos look amazing too.
Oh, this little thing. This is incredible. It's on the last afternoon. Will was brought up at Grimes Graves, which is the flint mine, the ancient flint mine.
Right, okay.
And that's part of where it all comes from, because his dad was in charge of it and doing it. And so, as a kid, he was doing it. So,
grew up with it, yeah.
Absolutely. So he took us there. We couldn't go down the mines because he hadn't got a key that day, and it was all like bits of spontaneous. But we went and walked around it, and that was amazing. Because again, we were right down in the tunnels, 50 feet down, working with them.
Right.
But there are ancient bits of flint there This is quite possibly 8,000 years old and was napped by one of those people. And they're just lying on the ground.
That's amazing.
And it was sort of like, yes, I want to come home. So, I mean, I've got this from an ancestor so far gone.
Yeah.
And it's so special.
And it still works. And it's still probably better than lots of knives.
Yes, precisely so.
Knives.
It does need a little bit of tapping up if I was really good, just to finish the edges because, you know, wind and weather and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But no, it's fun. It's so totally recommended. If you get the chance yourself, you will love it. Except for the fact you do have to camp.
There's no ensuite. That's the bit that.
Well, actually, even that's not true because there is a B&B about 3 miles away, and you could go and sleep there, and then arrive before or after breakfast because we all cook breakfast there, obviously, and spend the day, and then go home to bed.
I don't mind the sleeping outside is amazing. It's the having the bathroom facilities.
Well,
I'm a bit
we didn't have any kind of showers. So it was sort of shoot into the hotel when we got there and shoot upstairs. And I was making the tea while Fiona was a blue tongue and then ditto. So
brilliant, excellent. It sounds amazing. Highly recommended. I did completely the opposite and went to a city while you were there.
180 degrees. So tell us about it.
Yes, myself and the girls went to the Royal City of Bath.
Beautiful.
For 3 days. Yes, it was amazing. I love it. It's one of my favourite places. Well, we went to connect with Sulis. We went with that purpose. So completely different to where you were.
Completely different place, but same intention.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I've been to Bath many times, and I've been to the Roman baths several times too. But we went with a different frame of mind. We went with the focus to connect with Sulis, and we did. Whew, boy, did we. Yeah, very overwhelming experience. Just sitting, there's steps, and you sit and look at the I think it's Balanos. They call it the Gorgon's head, don't they? Just above what would have been on Sulis's temple. And you can just sit there. And that's what we did. We must have been there for 15, 20 minutes, just absorbing it all. The energy was overwhelming. I'd never experienced anything like it before. So the Roman baths are very well done. They are very well laid out. Yeah, what they've done is very good. Yeah, it was brilliant. We went with the purpose, and we, oh boy, did we get it.
And loads and loads of
but no skinning of animals or stuff. We went to restaurants.
Well, you probably wouldn't. They wouldn't really like it if you did that in Sulis Bath. So, how long were you there for?
Yeah, the Roman bath was brilliant. 3 days. Right. Yeah, it was. We did a bit of wandering. Actually, we went to Frome on the way back. We spent most of the day in Frome on the last day. That's a lovely little village as well. And we found, we followed, I don't know if you know it, there's a stream of water that runs down the street. So we followed it up, and we found St. Catherine's Well, which is a natural spring as well. So that was lots of banging today. That was fantastic as well, finding another spring. Natural spring as well. So yeah, we had really, really good days. But Sulis has already found me a few years ago, and she's sort of been nudging. And in the last probably year, she's been banging.
And soon it was getting to us shaking.
The trip kind of sealed the deal. Really, she's out in full force now. But yeah, I do. If anybody's not been to the Roman baths, I do recommend it. That it's very well done.
And did you go to the little baths then?
No, we literally just went to did the whole touristy bit of the main Roman baths.
Because the little baths, which are much less well known, they're gorgeous and they're very bridey.
Right.
And I did them years and years ago with John Matthews. And they were then much less crowded than the Roman baths.
Right, so yes, because you can't go in the water at the actual Roman baths,
well, you
because
can't.
It's all full of nastiness.
Well, you can't in the little baths either, but it's when I went there was far less people, and so we were able to spend quite a long time there, and again, feeling into the whole spirit of the bath, the spring.
Yeah, we were. Well, I suppose the good old COVID was in our favour this time, because they were doing time slots and limiting the number of people in, so it wasn't actually too busy. Yes, we got in there first. We were the first ones in, and it wasn't too busy, so it was quite comfortable. But yeah, fascinating place.
It is.
We actually went into, there was four of us, we're all pagan. We went into the abbey right next door to the Roman baths. We all walked in and all walked out again because we all felt so uncomfortable. It was like, what are we doing in here? It's horrible. I mean, it's not, it's a beautiful building. It's absolutely stunning. But I think where we connected so strongly with Sulis, the abbey is built over part of her temple. And actually, when we were in the baths, in the bit where you're standing outside, and we looked up, and you can just see the corner of the abbey, and it looms over the top of the baths, doesn't it? And I'd never really thought of it in that way before. But it was. So as soon as we went in the abbey, it was like Sulis saying, "Get out! I don't want you in there."
Yeah, I can believe that.
But all four of us felt that independently. We were all wandering around, and all four of us sort of met and went, "I need to get out of here."
Yeah.
So yes, Sulis had spoken.
Did you go to the pump rooms?
No. We were quite limited with stuff, because pump rooms were it was shut off for this and shut off for that, and because of everything that was going on, it was a bit limited. But the actual Roman baths was lovely. And we found an apartment. We were staying in an apartment on the top of one of the old Georgian buildings that looked right over the river. So yeah, the view from every one of our bedrooms from the living room was straight over the river. It was fantastic.
That's
fantastic.
It was lovely. Yeah.
I mean, I love Bath anyway. It's got such a beautiful energy, but that was fantastic.
Got that as well. That was yeah, absolutely perfect. Yeah. I haven't been to Bath for ages, but I like it too. So I totally get it. Yeah. And how is Sulis investing your book?
She's running everything I'm doing at the moment. She is the driving force behind absolutely everything that I seem to be doing at the minute, and she doesn't mess about. She's full speed, full throttle, 100 miles an hour. So yeah, I'm hanging on for dear life at the minute. Bless her.
No, I think people don't realise how powerful our spring goddesses are, our water goddesses, however they're called. And I mean, she's perhaps the best known. But...
Yes, because of the Roman baths connection. But I know the Romans liked to come in and change the names of all the deities that were already there, weren't they? But she managed to hang on to her name, didn't she? Although they added Minerva on the end. I think they realised that she was so powerful. They couldn't just wipe her out.
When you went to and you found the Catherine Spring, did you feel the link?
It's interesting. I'd read a book a while back called Finding Sulis, I think, by Ellen Richardson. I think I've got his name right. And he'd actually described St Catherine's Well in there when he'd been looking for sources of Sulis. So we kind of went there with the intention of finding it. So it was, it's definitely definite link.
It's one of those things that I think people don't realise, and the wells have different names around the country. But that connection to a water source is like, whoa, hang on a minute, it's so strong.
I mean, a lot. I've been looking at the ancient goddesses, as you know, but so many of them are linked to springs and rivers and streams, and it's that whole water thing, isn't it? But I guess really, if you've got a river, it gives life. It provides water, it provides fish, but it takes life if it's big enough, because they're dangerous places. So I can see why ancient man honoured it and gave it a spirit and gave it a name, and like we do to these things. I can see why water was so honoured in the past, as it should be now.
As it should,
but you
indeed.
can see where they made that connection.
And also, I mean, you sort of realise that the country was covered in forests. So your river is your transport.
Yes.
That's your road.
Yes, because we forget that the land wasn't as it is now, don't we? I think you kind of, we're so used to roads and cities and things, you forget that it was a lot of forest.
And if you make a little high boat, like a coracle, or you can make them long ways as well, the amount of water they take up, even with you sitting in them, is about that. So you can go up a very shallow river. And get places. And I think we did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And of course, all the animals would go there, and the birds. So, if you needed, a bird for lunch or something, there you were.
you got dinner and a drink all in the same place.
Well, you do. And literally, yes, you do. Because, of course, that is a place that they will congregate. So it's a place you can be pretty sure of getting some food.
Yeah.
And I mean, all your foraging plants really like it along there too.
Yeah.
Because there's a bit of light. And whereas deep in the forest, you're not going to get the same good plants to eat. So, it's such a thing, isn't it?
It was interesting. We were sort of talking about springs and water and things, how many natural springs there are in the UK that have been forgotten, that have been, left to go wild.
Yes, indeed.
But then there are also the customs, because I've been looking a lot of folklore recently, of well dressing. It's still done. I'm sure people don't know why they still do it in a lot of the cases. These traditions, isn't it? And they kind of follow on. Well dressing still takes place, doesn't it, across the country?
It does.
And that's ancient practice.
And things about river crossings too. And those places always had a tradition, and like a sort of, if you got your walking staff with you, may I cross?
That's to make sure there's no trolls under the bridge.
There is that as well, but there's also, I think it's much older than Billy Goat Gruff.
Yes.
It's like, may I cross you? And people knowing that you've got the feel of yes. And I think people still do know that, where they're willing to listen. Certainly found it.
With me being near the ocean as well, I've always honoured water. And I think to a certain degree, I've always been wary of it too, because it is such particularly the ocean or a huge river, it's got such power to it. I think it needs to be revered somewhat, be slightly wary of it. But then you've got the edges as well, haven't you? You've got the shorelines of a river or lake or ocean. They're very magical.
Absolutely. Especially if it's
boundary places, aren't they?
Especially like a tidal one where your threshold changes twice every day.
Yeah.
But it happens even with rivers because, you know, like if it's warm in the summer, the water will go down. And so you get further out. And then in the winter, if the rains have come, it comes further up. So your threshold's different again. But they are liminal, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Completely.
Yeah, fascinating. Definitely Bath, fascinating place. It is one of my favourite places. It's got such a nice energy about it.
I'd recommend anybody go to that if you want to go to a place that's absolutely full of lovely, what you might call sacred sites, but special sites.
It's quite a mixture, isn't it? Because you've got the Roman baths literally smack bang in the centre of shops, haven't you? It's quite bizarre with the Abbey right next door to it. It's a real mixture of stuff, but it's got the modern shopping centre. Then it's got all the little independent ones as well. We found a fantastic local independent cafe that we had breakfast in every day. So yeah, you've got the nice mixture, and then of course you've got the river, and there's lots of river walks as well. Yeah. Nice mixture of stuff.
And it's worth actually, I've been to the pump rooms and it's worth going, and it's worth actually experiencing the water, because you've got sulfur water there, you've got fire water. And whether or not how you feel about needing it for health reasons, that's different water.
I mean, it's packed full of minerals of all sorts, isn't it? It's very special.
They're all fire minerals. And this thing where fire and water meet, there is magic.
Yeah.
So you've got that, as well as, you know, this amazing Georgian pavilion thing.
When I've been before, we've been able to drink water. They tapped it from the source and you could pour it out into cups. Unfortunately, with the situation, pandemic situation, we couldn't do that. You could buy bottles of it, which we did. But yeah, it's got a very strange taste to it as well, hasn't it? And obviously it's warm as you drink it. But yeah, it is magic, as you say. It is that alchemy kind of thing.
It is very, very much. And you've got all this in this city, which is also, I mean, it's famous for music and plays, Bath, as well.
Yes.
So, you know, you've got so much if you go there.
Yeah. But it's interesting. We both went to completely different places, complete opposite ends of the spectrum, really.
Yes.
But we both had amazing spiritual experiences. It kind of just, it just reiterates to me that it doesn't matter where you are, there is magical energy.
Absolutely.
You just need to tap into it. Whether it is out in a hammock in the woods, which I am very jealous of because I've always wanted a hammock. Particularly one hanging from trees would be amazing. And then the flip side, to the middle of a city, but still that
all
energy.
That energy is there. And all you have to do is look for it, ask to see, and notice it.
Yeah.
And that's all you need to do. And
wherever you are. But to me, that's really important. Even if I am, you know, I'm connected to the land my house is on. I'm connected to my house. Whenever we go and do a ritual somewhere, the first thing I do is connect with the energy of the land that we're standing on to make sure that it's okay to do the ritual. We're here. Hope you don't mind, kind of thing. And that, even your 1970s concrete car parks got energy. Might be quite a sad one. Might be quite unhappy, but it's still got it. So wherever you are, you connect.
It certainly does. And we found that when we lived in London for 20 years. And of course, many of the rivers there are buried.
Right,
They're
yes, there's a
underneath.
lot of stuff underneath London,
there's
isn't
a
there,
lot
that
of
people
rivers in
don't
London,
realise.
and they're all very special. But there's also loads and loads. There's patterns of ley lines that come through London, which is really, really interesting. And you can feel them and walk them. You are sort of like walking down Oxford Street, and there is actually an energy thread going on.
Yes, yeah.
And you can feel it if you ask to.
Well, it's got a history, hasn't it? London's got an ancient history as well. And even the Thames has a lot of folklore and magic associated with it, hasn't it?
Yeah. And it's always been one of the mother rivers.
Yes. Yeah, so it doesn't matter where you are, people, connect.
And all it requires to connect is sort of, hi, I'm Ellen. I've come to visit. Would you talk to me?
Yep.
And that's all it requires.
Yep.
Go for it.
And as we've said quite a lot of times before, look, listen, watch, pay attention.
Yeah, all of those things.
All of the above.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to do that. Yeah.
So we both had very busy weeks, and then you've got your book as well, which is which I love gardening anyway. So
do give it a whirl, people. I think you'll enjoy it. And it's not just about gardening. It's about gardening from a pagan perspective.
Yeah, Practically Pagan, an alternative guide to gardening. There's a Facebook group called Practically Pagan as well, if anyone wants to stop over there and join that, where we all of the Practically Pagan authors share bits and pieces. So
we turn up and do things, and I haven't been there and turned up and done things for a while, but I will.
It's been out in your hammock.
I know.
Under the stars. So we will leave that there with everybody today. So thank you, everyone. Yes, Air Adventures. We'll let you know when we've been on any more.
Yeah, I think life's a whole adventure, so go for it. But do enjoy your stuff, people, and do visit places and connect.
And connect. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Excellent. Well, take care, and we will see you all next time.
We will. Bye.